fun. My coffee cup is green. And so when I come over here, my coffee cup disappears.
Sorry, the call. Алло. Я работаю. Я позвонила, я работаю. Я позвонила, я работаю. Давай, пока. Sorry.
Good
Yes,
morning.
I saw your cup is just like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Magic man Harry Potter.
Yeah. I should be a magician.
Yes, and my students, when we have in June, at the end of June, we have exams, and in Zoom, of course, and my students used these filters and backgrounds, and it was funny. Different styles.
Yeah. I think you know this place.
No, yeah, I see you. No.
You know
not an invisible man, you know. it's interesting how fantastics came to our life.
Oh yeah.
It is possible to be a Batman. It is possible to be Harry Potter. It is possible to be Invisible Man.
Yeah, you can do anything you want now.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Life is interesting. It's really very interesting because a few days ago I have a talk with some friends, some colleagues, and we were discussing online e-learning, distance learning, and they are very conservative and traditional people, and they said that it is awful, and they were very negative about e-learning. Me too. I don't like total e-learning.
Yes.
At the same time, I think it's good opportunity. Then they have some sort of lockdown and pandemic period, so it's a good opportunity. So I am in balance, 50-50. And at the same time, I can remember if we go back to history, there are a lot of periods, there are a lot of cases then innovation, any kind of innovation, when people didn't like any kind of innovations.
Right.
Then their first printed books were made. Many people didn't like this idea because they lost their job. They just writing and rewriting these books, and now they have special printer,
right,
that can make these books.
And then we look at the world of autonomous is coming. Autonomous vehicles that drive themselves.
Yes.
And you have truck drivers who that is their skill, that is what they want to do, and it's going to cause them a great deal of pain. You know, because there are people who are comfortable in their lives, all right? And they like that repetition, they like that pattern, they don't want interruptions. And I get it, I understand.
Yes, and yes, true. And we need flexibility. We need to be more flexible. If you have flexible mind and you can adopt yourself to any new circumstances, it helps a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes, it throws you back on your heels. It's like COVID. It completely, I don't know if I like this background. When I move, there's all the, uh, it- COVID, I'm used to seeing people face to face. I'm used to hugging my friends. I'm used to sitting around having wine and telling bad jokes. Uh,
Do you know that bad jokes is mainly more interesting than any kind of jokes.
oh, then I could probably make a living at it. Because I know bad jokes.
Yeah, the worse the more interesting
Yes,
sometimes.
yes, they are. How's life treating you?
Quite good. Mm, uh, my life is never boring. It's every day adventures, and it's strange because mostly since March I am here, but and this place is a place of conferences, meeting, chat, interviews, and it's so quite funny. Everything is nice. My students, uh, our students, our university took some some awards at international conferences. I am privately proud of them. And not tomorrow, today at 1 a.m. I was writing some articles
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and going to publish it in some internet platforms. So a lot of everything. It's it's funny how it works.
Good. Good. Yeah, I've been just crazy busy. Um, Work has got me spinning at 100 miles an hour. I went to buy a new car yesterday.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Congratulations.
don't congratulate me just yet.
Ah, why?
Uh, is a Jaguar.
Good, nice. Yes.
Nice, comfortable, not a sports car, but a comfortable business class sedan. And it has a diesel engine. Diesel.
Yeah, I see, diesel. Okay.
Okay. Most people don't know Jaguar makes a diesel car. Okay. And they're great cars. They don't sound like diesels. They're not noisy. They're not dirty. The car performed beautifully. Hold on. Excuse me.
God bless you.
And so when I went to pick up the car yesterday, I was extremely busy, and I told the salesperson I need all the paperwork done in 30 minutes. Okay, because I have to get back to work. They said, yes, Mr. Lockard, we will work our best. And they got the paperwork done in 30 minutes. Signed the paperwork, gave them the money, and I'm waiting for them to deliver me the car. And then the manager of the dealership comes to me and goes, Mr. Lockard, we have a problem. When the technician was getting the car ready, cleaning it, making sure there was fuel in it, he put gasoline in the tank and left the car running. And gasoline will destroy a diesel engine. He destroyed the car. And I'm like going, a very expensive car. And they said, we will make it right. We will send it to Jaguar and have Jaguar fix the car. They would have to replace the engine. But as soon as you do major work like that, you are going to start having other problems with the vehicle. So I'm like, I don't want the car. Find me another one just like it. And said, yes, Mr. Lockard, we will find you another one. And then they fired the kid. You know, they fired the technician for destroying the car. And I'm sad for the technician, you know. The car doesn't sound like a diesel. The car doesn't run like a diesel. But when you open it up to put fuel in it, the cap is yellow, meaning it's a diesel.
Ah,
You don't put gasoline in, and so the car's been destroyed. So they're trying to find me another one.
okay. It looks like that you also have a lot of adventures in your life.
Oh yeah. Oh
Unexpectable. Sometimes some cases are absolutely unexpectable.
yeah. Yeah.
You never can predict that technician could destroy your car.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't predict that.
There are some,
That was an expensive car.
yes, yes. Yeah.
And I feel bad for the technician. He made a mistake.
Yes, yes. But in any case, it is his mistake.
It is his mistake. He will never do that again.
And in any case, it is. I think it is the most expensive lesson for him.
Yes, yes, it was a very expensive lesson for him.
So next time he will never destroy any cars, because this lesson that yellow is for diesel,
Mm-hmm.
he will study. He will study, I think, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. We all make mistakes.
Yes.
Happens. If you don't make mistakes, you're not learning.
If you don't make mistakes,
you're not learning.
Not learning, and mistakes show us the different sides of a life, the different colors of a life. We can compare some mistakes, some correct ways, and it's interesting to compare all this.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So this will make a wonderful story one day. And I will probably turn it into an interesting story. Right now, I'm still not happy about it because I really wanted that car. But c'est la vie.
Yes, true. C'est la vie. C'est la vie is always c'est la vie.
Oh my gosh. And my coffee cup is empty.
Appear and disappear.
Empty and disappears.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh gosh. So I'm planning on putting together some online conferences. I was hoping you, in your copious free time, that is a joke, you can laugh. Copious free time is an American expression that basically means, I know you're very busy, but please do a couple talks on weaving stories into technical presentations.
Great topic, great topic. I like it a lot.
Yeah, because I have sat in many presentations. They are dry, they are boring, and I want to go to sleep.
Yes.
You know, they don't know how to, a lot of people, they don't know they need to. You know, there's the need, we have to teach that, but there's also how to do it.
And one really important question here is why to do it.
Yes.
Because most of speakers, especially when they talk about some technical results, like technical devices or something like this, they try to be very serious, and this is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because being serious doesn't mean being boring.
Yes. Yes, of course.
To deliver a serious speech
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean to deliver a lot of data, diagrams, schemes. All these doesn't make connection with people.
Yes.
And the story is very important for this connection, to connect the speaker with his auditory, to connect the speaker with his listeners.
Yes. Yes. And because if the listeners don't connect and they don't care, everybody's time is wasted.
Yes, yes, and it is how it works most of the time in many conferences as well.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a big problem, and every time I start new course at university, my students, mainly it is first year student, my students ask the same questions. They say, why we are engineers, we are IT specialists, why do we need these presentation skills? We are not going to go to conferences. They think so, but then I just try to explain them that if you want to spend all your life on the lowest position,
Yep.
you don't need, okay, you can sit at your computer all your life and just coding, just writing programs, and you will see nothing, you will have nothing. If you want to create network,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to communicate, the
Mm-hmm.
communication connect you with the world. This is a special mechanism for creating and sharing a social world.
Yes. Yeah. Because when I talk to anybody who is senior, when I talk to my peers, when I talk to junior people, I need them to understand where I'm coming from, what I'm, I want to say what I'm feeling, but that's not really it. I want them to understand the why we're having this conversation. And I also need them to understand what are the results we want out of this conversation. And by weaving stories into it, you can trigger emotions. And emotions are what drive us.
True. We made an analysis of many speeches that was delivered at the TED conference.
Yes.
And it turned out that most of the most famous talks
Yes.
consist of stories.
Yes.
About 50% of the talk,
Mm-hmm.
or even 65% of the talk, or 70% of 11 minutes talk,
Mm-hmm.
devoted to stories. The speaker tells about tells about his ideas, his childhood, his parents, about the people who influenced them. So the story is not only to connect you with the uh, people emotionally, but it's also about trust.
Yes.
If you share your emotions with people,
Mm-hmm.
they trust you more.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And then also the stories give lessons to underlie the point of your subject. Such as, have you ever read the book A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No.
I have to get you that book. Every technical person I know has read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you want to connect with your students, read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay? I will give you the lesson now. Okay? So you understand. You will hear people say 42. That's it. 42 is what is the answer? They asked this computer, Deep Thought, who spent millennia trying to figure out the answer. And at this point in the book, everybody's gathered around this huge computer, they're waiting for the answer. And the computer wakes up and says 42. That was it. The lesson of the book is you have to understand what is the question. Nobody remembered the question.
Great.
They were waiting for an answer. And I spend most of my work, 90% of my time is spent figuring out what is the question I'm trying to answer.
Yeah.
And once I've got that, the answer is usually pretty simple. Read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You will love it. You will absolutely love it. They made it into a movie, but I say read the book.
I have a long list of the books that I have to read and reread, and the even longest list of movies that I want to watch and rewatch. And when we have that lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and there were a lot of discussion in the internet and social nets. Oh, we are at home. What we should do while being at home? And I never understand this question because 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 you have some time to read. Some additional time maybe,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but there were no. I didn't have any additional time. Just again work, and even more work and meetings and.
Then
Okay.
read and play.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a stack of books. Oh God, I keep ordering books and I have not I think I'm behind about 10 books. You know, I want to finish a book before starting the next book.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing books I want, and I buy the book.
Yeah. Yes, me too. Me too. I always buy books. It's 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 like books like drug. You just
It is. It is.
and then they are, especially when they are good published
Mhm.
with illustration, and it is it is it is magic. We start with magic today. We start this conversation with magic. So the topic of our conversation is
It is magic. It is magic because a good book, you disappear into the book. You know, the world is no longer,
exist.
it no longer exists. And scientists, they call that flow.
Yes, yes. You have you read the very famous psychologist, and he has many books. One of them is devoted to creativity, and one of them is devoted to flow.
Oh, what's his name?
Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, very difficult name. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi.
Oh, yes, yes. I have a couple of his books.
He is great. He is great. He is great because he is the first psychologist who devoted a few decades, about 30 or 40 years,
Yeah.
to collect materials for this book, for his book Creativity.
Mm-hmm.
He made interview of Nobel Prize winners and with artists, scientists, and the book is a quite serious research.
Yes, it is. I have a couple of his books. There's two other very good books, and I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head. One of them is Rise of Superman, which follows on Csikszentmihalyi's work. And in Rise of Superman, he follows extreme athletes, the athletes who are doing things that we thought were impossible. And yet and he's analyzing how to hack flow, which is something I'm very interested in because I do a lot of things like flying airplanes. I was into technical diving. I did cave diving, some things that were extremely dangerous. And I noticed every time I do these activities, I get into that flow state.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's addictive. It is absolutely.
Yes. It is quite interesting from different points of view, and it is quite interesting from the point of view of how our brain work.
Yes.
Or the cellars, neurons in our brain work, because they work a different way in this flow state.
Yes. Yes.
Neuropsychologists made some researches, and they have many proofs to this. By the way, if we talk about stories, or there is a very famous article of the professor Uri Hassan, and he is from Princeton University, and he published this article in 2012, and this articles called brain to brain coupling.
Oh, cool.
Yes, brain-to-brain coupling, and he talks about how stories
Mm-hmm.
um, connect speaker with listeners.
Yes. Yes.
And he made a few experiments,
Mm-hmm.
and also it was proved.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
when we tell stories, uh, we connect our listeners emotionally, and we made this brain-to-brain couple. This process of brain-to-brain coupling is quite interesting. We synchronized
Yes.
our brains.
Of course. Of course. All our brains are synchronized
True.
because you start feeling the same emotions.
Yes, you start feeling the same emotions, and you start watching the same pictures,
Yes.
and you don't just deliver a speech,
Mm-hmm.
you perform.
Of course.
You demonstrate, you show, it is, if we come back to books,
Mm-hmm.
I also like
Yes.
audiobooks, and if I don't have any circumstances, if I don't have any condition
Mm-hmm.
to read,
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes my eyes are very tired, or
Mm-hmm.
I am somewhere, I don't know, in public transport. Um, if I don't have any conditions
Mm-hmm.
for reading, I just use my headphones and find some audiobooks, and it also depends of how it is done, how it works, how
Mm-hmm.
the dictator
Yes.
made this story. And some readers
Mm-hmm.
made great performance.
Oh, yes.
And this is not an it is not, or it's like you are in the theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different one voice, one reader,
Mm-hmm.
but he played different roles.
Yeah, do you use Audible by Amazon?
No, no.
Pooh. Because that's what I use, and I've got a couple of really good ones. One I think you would like a lot. Just a second. Da, 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 da. I'm listening to it right now. Just a second. This is by The Great Courses. Okay. The Art of Storytelling from Parents to Professionals.
I need to write this. From parents to professions. This for last 5 years, I would say, in Russia have been published a lot of translated books devoted to presentation skill, devoted to storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting, and it is interesting to note that say 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
this was not popular. And it is strange because in ancient Greece,
Yes.
this topic was popular.
Eh,
and later, and in Russia, for example, after revolution,
mhm,
they mm, they prohibited the cross-devoted or orator skills, presentation skills in schools, in public schools. In 19th century, we have rhetoric in schools.
mhm.
In 20th century, mm, we don't have this lessons at schools, and it is rhetoric. It is also about how mind work,
Yes, yes.
how you connect different ideas between themselves.
Mhm.
Also logic, mathematical logic, and so it is quite strange that since Aristotle till say 19th century,
Mhm.
for example, in the field of logic,
Mhm.
there were not many new new theories, new theories. I would say the same level of the same level as Aristotle have.
Yes. Yeah. Um, but fortunately, the skill and the art is coming back. You know, I learned storytelling from listening to my papa. I learned storytelling by listening to Southern Baptist preachers. Okay, and I have a strange upbringing. My parents sent me to Catholic school. It's Latin. It's very formal. There's not really stories told. Matter of fact, I'll tell you some Catholic school stories later. And then you go to a
I think it is not bad story.
then you go to a Southern Baptist church, and you'll have the preacher up there going, and just and telling stories, using metaphors, using analogies, so you can actually understand the message and the lessons he is trying to give. And that, and my papa, his stories were always funny. That my papa served in World War II. He served in the Korean War, and he was in the Vietnam War. He was an old, hardened soldier. He was never bitter. He was never, he was Papa with great stories. We would sit around and listen to him for hours. Now, at the same token, when we were bad, and we were frequently bad, my papa turned into the hardened soldier. And I remember we were living in Dale City, which is about 30 miles south of Washington, D.C. And 9, 10, 11 years old, and my papa got tired of spanking us. So he went and he planted a willow tree. And he said, the willow trees are for your switches. And he used those switches on us. but you know, he would, you know, and when it was there, he was the hardened soldier, but he was also instilling discipline. But his ability to tell stories, to make us laugh, you know, to make us cry sometimes too, and we
Yeah.
deserved it, was one of his greatest skills. You know, he grew up during the Depression. You know, his parents had nothing. He was one of 17 children. And it would have been, I think, one of 21, but several died in childbirth. And he joined the military to get out of being dirt poor. And he joined the military at 14, which is illegal.
Yes, very young, too young.
Too young. But he took his brother's birth certificate to join the military during World War II. And he was stationed in Japan at the end of World War II. And he finally wrote a letter home to his mother. His mom had no idea where he was. His mom writes a letter to the president. I don't know if the president ever read that letter. However, he said a little while after writing that letter home, someone came into the barracks and like, Private Lockard. Yes, sir. How old are you? And they put him on the next ship home. And it's like, no, you can't be here. So as soon as he turned 18, he joined the military again. And, you know,
Very stubborn.
yeah, like me. That's where I get my stubborn from.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
You know, my mom and everybody always says my three best qualities is I am stubborn, I am pig-headed, and I am obstinate.
Yes.
Those are my three good qualities.
Yes. Pretty good qualities. Yeah, and no, it's I think it's then you are in the flow.
Yeah.
You have these qualities
Oh,
because you are absolutely sure that you are on the right way.
yes. Yes.
So that's why you are stubborn, pig-headed, and
Obstinate.
yes.
Yep. That's me. That is me.
Yes, 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 yes. My mom is always tells me that I am very stubborn, and it is her favorite word regards to
No.
me.
Olesya, stubborn? No.
Um,
Okay, you're stubborn. I agree with your mom.
I think I'm not, but my mom has a different opinion.
You know, if it's what your mama says, it's true for your mama. Okay? And you probably love to teach people, and you've probably been loving to teaching people since you were a child.
Yes, yes, it's true. It's true. Actually, sorry. Hello. Извините. Stationary phone, mobile phone. Yes, my mom often reminds the story that when I was 4 years old, I I I I taught somebody, some our friends, some parents' friend came to our home, and I delivered the speech. Instead of poems, I delivered a speech that what should they do, something like this.
I believe her. I believe her.
Okay, yes.
I can see that.
Yes, me too. I think I remember this.
Yeah, you're probably, and now you should, confident. I am Olesya. You must listen to me.
Yes.
Oh, I would have paid money to see that. I would have paid good money to see that. Professor Olesya starting her career. You learned storytelling from an early age. You are a fortunate woman. You are very fortunate. Oh, and I have to get a shower. I have to go to work. Fortunately, I'm working at home. But I still need to clean up and get ready. Miss Olesya, you are one of my favorite people in the world.
Oh, the same. I can say the same towards you.
Spasiba. And we'll go back and forth, and we'll arrange an online lecture on weaving stories into your presentation.
Where are you going to make this?
On Zoom.
But
on my site, Oracle Wizard.
and when?
Can we say sometime next month?
Next month, in August.
In August, yes. If I said tomorrow, you could probably do it. However, I would need to let people know so they all
Okay.
come in. And I'll also contact Camille. He can put it out there. I will contact Martin Woodlake and all of our friends so they can let everybody know.
Yes, maybe Julian, maybe many people from Oracle conferences, I think, could make interesting speeches.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Robert. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Пока.
Bye bye.